The first piece I played was Paganini's Caprice No. 9, nicknamed The Hunt, and the second was Vieuxtemps's Capriccio. It's nicknamed Homage à Paganini. I actually chose to play these two pieces because I just recorded an album of all Schubert, and Schubert is my favorite composer, and Schubert suffered a lot in his life because of Paganini and how Paganini was taking Vienna by storm, and everyone was so thrilled and captivated by Paganini's virtuosity, and he was kind of a movie star. And Schubert's music is a little bit more introverted. It takes a lot more patience to listen to. I was always afraid of Paganini because I didn't I didn't feel this sort of bravado that I thought one needed to play Paganini. But it's required for all competitions. And after I won Queen Elizabeth, I thought, this is fantastic. I'll never have to play Paganini ever again. And of course, then every opportunity that came my way, I thought, maybe I'll play Paganini. So that's how I came up with this today. So I didn't really actually know much Schubert until I went to college, and I met Robert Levin, who is one of the most brilliant minds, I think, of our time. And he's a pianist, but his favorite piece is the Schubert G major string quartet. So I thought, why is this? And he talked about it in a way that made me cry, even though I'd never heard the piece before. So that's when I fell in love with Schubert, discovering his works. And my primary teacher at the time, Donald Weilerstein, suggested that I learn the Schubert Fantasy, which is notoriously one of the most difficult pieces there is, but not in the same way that Paganini is. There's no outward displays of virtuosity. Everything is really difficult, but every note means something in the context of this emotional journey that the piece is. And I completely fell in love, and I brought it to a competition setting, which is kind of what people suggest you really don't do. But I decided if I had the chance to play something on this grand stage with so much history, it would have to be the Schubert Fantasy. So I did that, and it went well, and that only strengthened my connection with the piece. And I knew that if I ever had the chance to record, that would be the first piece that I would have to record. And so the album centers around the Schubert Fantasy. We also recorded the Schubert Rondo, and the song that is the theme of the theme and variations inside the Fantasy, and then the beautiful Serenade, which is one of the most beloved Schubert lieder. And I fell in love with the violin because of the sound and the singing, because I obviously don't have a singing voice, so I try to do it through the violin. And that's why I'm so delighted that my first album is Stella by Schubert, and it's with my good friend Henry Kramer. I'm very lucky to be playing the 1700 ex-Petri Stradivarius. It's on generous loan from Dr. Ueno and Rare Violins of New York. I found myself without an instrument at all during the pandemic, and Dr. Ueno really saved my life, and it's such a stunning, stunning instrument with a beautiful soul, and so I'm very privileged to be playing on it.